Oh, there I see. I bumped it and stuff. I bumped my microphone and stuff. Tradish. You already know who won because I did this. Even with no sound, you know who it is. Dustin King. And then second place, Josh Russell, the heavyweight champion of the world. One more time. Okay, I know it says I have no volume. I got it. And third place, you guys know I love it when a Raiderette slides into my medal round, which is often referred to as the Sausage Fest because it's always won by a bunch of dudes. Karina Trujillo. Yeah, I should have known it was. I should have known I was having sound issues because I wasn't picking it up in my own earphones. I just didn't understand why I wasn't playing. But my screen bumped my excuse me hiccups and my power button. Bear, what's up, Jim? Welcome to the show. Rick Samurano, what's up, Rick? Welcome to the show. Always aloha on a Raider Bear. Much love to you. Steeler Val. Hi, Steeler Val. Welcome to the show. Good Friday night to you. My favorite Steeler fan among all my favorite Steeler fans. John LaJoy, what's up? I see you there. Paul Summers joining me from YouTube. What's up, brother? And everyone watching on YouTube, please consider following and subscribing to Raider Bear Live. Please click on that bell so you get alerts when I'm going live. And please feel free to share. I'm really trying to build my audience, and I really appreciate that. I know everyone's doing that, but I just, I feel like it's the thing to say, and I should say that. So I have, manners in that way. And those of you who are on Facebook, watching me from Facebook, please consider a subscription to Raider Bear family page. It's just $5 a month. You can cancel at any time, but you won't want to because you'll get to meet the lovely Mama Bear from time to time on camera. And I do shows with my supporters, just saying hello. And oh, look, you're wearing your Mama Bear shirt. Aren't you adorable? I love it.
I wanted to make sure you had coffee.
You did, and I appreciate that.
That's gonna ruin your tough guy image.
No, I don't care. I'd rather the kiss. Let him think I'm not a tough guy. I'm all right with that. Not a tough guy here. I like getting kisses from a pretty woman. If that makes me a wimp, then I'm a wimp. Big time. Denton Rhodes, Space Force in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Jason R. Morales. What's up, brother? Welcome. Bob Stannard, Kenneth Parsons. What's up, Kenneth? Welcome to the show. Kenneth, you had me cracking up the other day. Really, really cracking up. Vincent Rubalcaba. What's up? Welcome to the show. Doc Raider, I see you there. Let me get past everyone saying you're muted. You have no sound. Christopher Waltz. What's up? Welcome to the show. Now you got sound, bruh. John LaJoy, wasn't that a great game? That was good stuff. Carlos Boykin said, what's up, Raider Bear? I'm hoping we take all defense in this draft. Carlos, welcome to the show. I'm saying that's not going to happen. If you recognize, we've already brought in 5 additional wide receivers. Everybody was tripping at why we brought in so many wide receivers. We have an offensive-minded head coach, you know what I mean, who's been nothing more than an offensive coordinator his whole life, except once with the Broncos, which was a disaster, and now with us. So, I would have been surprised if he didn't bring in a lot of offensive pieces. He's an offensive guy. It may not be what we want, but he doesn't care what we want. He wants to win with offense and then, let the defense be pretty good. I think, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know that's not what you want to hear, but there's nothing wrong with that. If you have a fantastic offense and then you have a bend, don't break defense, just good, not great, but good defense, that's enough. You don't have to be the 85 Bears to win a Super Bowl. Candy Dimnioski. Hi, love. Welcome to the show. Hi, Mr. Dimnioski. Scotty Lutz, good bounce back win from our Dubs last night. Now, hopefully next game we tie the series. Come on, Scott. You know we're going to tie that game. It's almost inevitable. In fact, I'm calling a gentleman's sweep. I think we won in San Francisco. We're going to win in San Francisco again. Then we're going to go to Sac and win again. And then we're going to go back to the Bay and finish it. They're nice, but they're not good enough. Springfield, Missouri, the Queen City Raiders. What's up, Gabriel Davis? Welcome to the show. David Pellcliver, Mount Rushmore in the house. What's up? Rose Ortega. Hi, love. Mama Bear Rose Ortega said hi. Eric Ramirez. You're a clown. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. I'll leave your comment right there. Kim Calhoun, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Okay, so here it is. What is the most common sense we can put on this draft? It's like, for example, I could sit down and do a mock draft. I just don't like doing it because all I'm doing is just throwing names at you guys. And it's really what I think they should do or what I see them doing. Whereas, or I would like them to do. Whereas I would rather see something like this. Go ahead and take Christian Gonzalez or Devin Witherspoon at 7. Personally, I'm leaning toward Devin Witherspoon like most of Raider Nation. Okay, so now if Carter falls to 7, though, don't you have to take the guy? I mean, we've talked about the accident. We've talked about Carter. But now I'm just saying bluntly, okay, if Carter falls to 7, wouldn't you expect us to take him? I mean, regardless of the accident or how that panned out or how many people did die, I mean, he's a kid. He's not in the pros yet. He hadn't made a mistake, drove too fast, and 2 people paid the price. That's unfortunate. But what does that have to do with his ability to generate an income for his living? And we know that that's going to be as a football player. I don't understand why this should have bearing on whether or not he should be a football player. I don't think this has any bearing on whether he should be a football player. And so as the Raiders voice on YouTube, Facebook, and all sorts of other places, I would say, honestly, you got to look at him. To me, he's a franchise changer, man. He is a franchise changer, so you got to look at him. Kim Calhoun said hi, Mama Bear. She can hear me, and she's saying hi back. You guys just can't hear her because she's in the other room. Appreciate that, Kenneth Parsons. Yeah, if he's at 7, you got to go. John Leon says no. Oh, wow. Okay. Raiders C-Dub says Carter for sure. Kenneth Parsons, all I want is a right tackle and a guard and a tight end. Test of the picks defense will play in Wild AFC West. Well, I already looked at one of these, what do you call it? I just said it and it was on tip of my tongue. Mock drafts. And what they had us doing was, this one in particular was Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, and they were kind of going back and forth arguing. They agreed that at the 7th pick in the first round, we should go with Devin Witherspoon of the Illini or Illinois. They just say he's just too good, and he's going to immediately walk on the field and be the best player available. Then number 2 pick at 38, they're saying Steve Avila. Now, that's just like what I was just saying. They're just throwing a name out there because Steve Avila of TCU is a guard/center combination, and he's a great offensive lineman. But will Skoronski still be on the board? Probably not. So do you look at Avila? Probably, especially if you didn't use your first-round pick. Skoronski's probably going to be gone there. So you look for someone there. But we did already resign Joel Amenor. Let's not forget that. And we brought in O.J. Howard, the huge tight end, and A.J. Hooper, or not A.J. Well, anyway, the kid Hooper. I'm forgetting his name now. Hold on. Where's that cat? Okay, here we go. Austin Hooper. I said DJ. Austin Hooper. So we already brought in Austin Hooper as a weapon at tight end. And guys, I'm going to say it again. Why does he have to look like Darren Waller, be as fast as Darren Waller to be a competent, tight end that's going to do big things for us? You know what I mean? I like this guy. I like O.J. Howard even more just because he's more of an offensive lineman. And I love what he's going to bring to the table. But this kid, Hooper is going to be good for us. Yeah, Rick Samarano, you agree. I get John Leon's point. John Leon, no, see, you can't do that. Let me put this up so everybody can see what I'm talking about before I bring this up. See, to me, you can't do that. How would you be affected? How would I be affected? You know what I mean? If we were in a race car, racing around and we get into an accident, we killed 2 people that, technically we're now being found responsible for that because of who we are and our name recognition and the fact that we're getting ready to go into the pros. You know what I mean? And I feel like he should be allowed to get a second chance. Now, as far as showing up for overweight on his pro day and that kind of thing, he wasn't overweight. He was out of shape. Now, there's a difference. He wasn't overweight. He was out of shape. Because what's overweight? I mean, he's a defensive lineman. You know what I mean? You want him to be big. You want him to play at a certain weight. But it's unlikely that he's so far beyond that weight that, he's going to go down people's draft boards. The real truth is he wasn't in shape. He didn't do well at his pro day because he was, having trouble getting sleep. I already heard that he's, his phone's been ringing off the hook from people wanting to get a piece of him as an interview, or, whatever, and people calling him that, are former friends and giving him a hard time, just all kinds of stuff. And the guy's just going through so much, being the hot button topic, that he probably struggled to get ready for his pro day. Scotty Lutz. Okay, you're right. I don't want to jinx it. You're right. You're right. Tremel Henson said Raider draft talk is just a waste of time. Rarely is it a good first round good pick. Right. And normally, who normally ever picks who the Raiders are going to pick? I mean, they're notorious for not picking who everyone thinks they should or thinks they will pick. You know what I mean? So why would that be different now with Dave Ziegler? 559 Fresno Cali in the house. Miguel Garcia, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Troy Gill, how you doing, Troy? Raider Ric Flair Bear, Mr. Bear, this is Tommy. Last week you asked me to look up logistically, and I learned a new word. I'm not sure if this is how you used it, but it means be careful organization or implementation of a complicated idea. That is correct, Tommy. Very good job. Very impressed, Tommy. Jesse Parker, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. Ronnie Riggs. Oh, wow. Ronnie Riggs. What a great profile picture. She's beautiful. Let's see. We don't want Carter. He's too risky with his incident he had. We don't want another rug situation. I think we have to go Gonzalez or that other top corner. Well, I think it's unfair to say we don't want another rug situation. But at the same time, how many guys are coming into the NFL from the college ranks with, bodies on a car accident? So I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't think it draws the character of the team down or the public relations aspect. It's something that happened. It's bad. That's it. And that's it. And move on. I mean, Michael Vick fought dogs and killed dogs and did all this stuff and, came off like the Hannibal Lecter of dogs. And then he was, forgiven and he moved on. That's what America is. That's what we do. We give people second chances and third and fourth ones, unfortunately. Raider Bear, not football related, but I heard you like the t-shirt I wore at work. I just couldn't resist. I did like it. John Leon, I seen 3 people die over 22 years in construction, and I still showed up to work the day after. I don't blame you. But John, that what you're capable of doing and what he's capable of doing are different. What you're capable of doing and what I'm capable of doing are different. Maybe I wouldn't have made it to work. Maybe I would have stayed home and, just cried my eyes out for a couple of days. I don't know. I don't know if you going to work immediately makes you more of a man than the person who chooses to cry, and miss work. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer to something like that. I think it's each and everyone's own way of handling it. The Bay Area is a bad area to live nowadays. We have the Warriors and the San Jose Sharks and Santa Clara Whiners and San Francisco Giants. So scary, especially when I am with my grandkids. Kim Calhoun, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It really is, because there's a rich history of sports in the Bay Area. So all I would say to you is just try to go when you want to go. You go ahead and go. Don't let the outside world dictate to you when you're going to go see a sporting event. You know what I mean? More often than not, you're going to be able to get in and get out safely. Let's see. Carter is going to be fine. Everyone's saying he is probably the best in this draft. Yeah. If Carter there, we should pick him or trade down. Oh, okay. I get that. I'm a trade down guy. I'm a trade down guy. I'm not one of these people who gets so caught up in the draft that I can't see beyond these players. I don't like any of these quarterbacks. I don't like any of them. None of them come in with no risk. Hendon Hooker, the guy who most people think is the most mature and most balanced quarterback in this draft, is coming off an ACL tear from just last year. Bryce Young looks small. I mean, like Hobbit small. CJ Stroud, he played with an all-star team at Ohio State. No one even knows what the kid will do under pressure because he was never under any pressure. I mean, he had an all-star team in front of him, one of the best wide receiver cores in the history of college football. You know what I mean? Or all-around offensives in college football. Tremel Henson, hi, sir. Welcome to the show. Oscar De Leon, less than a week till the draft, Bear. What position do you think is priority? Well, I don't think it's quarterback. I'll be honest with you. In fact, the more and more I look at it, even I would be having to admit that my own solid prediction was wrong, because I have a scout, a friend of mine, a snitch He's embedded deep on that dog like a tick. And he sent me this information and said that he has it from a reliable source that goes as high up the Raiders as you can go, that they want to go all in on Anthony Richardson. That was what I was told. And I've been pushing that because that's what I was told from a source I find incredibly reliable, especially in the past. Very reliable to me. And he's saying he's got it on word that it's going to be Anthony Richardson. And I just can't believe that. I think personally that's a mistake. Excuse my yawn. Because he only has 13 starts under his belt ever. And that's just not enough to think he's going to come to the pros and be any good. Rude Boy Raider, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. 305 Miami in the house. Tony Savecka says, I say we take the best corner on our first pick. Yeah, more and more, it's going to be Devin Witherspoon. It just seems like Devin Witherspoon, he's falling in the right place. It seems like all the draft analysts are saying, for each team that goes down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you get to the Raiders, they all will pick a position of greatest need and greatest player at that position or need. And obviously, the odds are against any cornerback coming off before Devin Witherspoon. You know what I mean? If anyone's going to come off first, it would be him. And since the other teams ahead of us need more than a cornerback, it would probably be on us to pick Devin Witherspoon because obviously we need a starting quarterback bad. Rick Samarano, I'm always about size. So if we get to pick number 7 and Carter's gone, you go with Skoronski from Northwestern, the huge offensive lineman right tackle. That to me, that's a no-brainer. You just do it. You know what I mean? Because you've got Jimmy Garoppolo. He's made out of glass. So you've got to put people in front of him that can keep him from getting knocked on his. He's as brittle as glass. So you got to keep people in front of him to keep him from getting knocked on his shut your mouth. It's a family show. Rick Samarano, if Carter's gone, I see. Yeah, agreed. If the Raiders never pick who we think, does that mean we won't pick Anthony Richardson? I hope that's what it means. Jim Vanderlyn, I think that there was an honest evaluation of these quarterbacks. I think that we had Will Levis in for a dinner because they wanted to genuinely evaluate these guys. They've seen enough of what they can do physically. They've got enough tape of them playing in football games. Now, how are they raised? Are they polite? Do they speak well? Do they engage, or do they wait to be spoken to all the time? Or do they have more personality, et cetera, et cetera? They look for these things. And I would say to you, is there a chance that a lot of this was a swerve by the Raiders? I would say it's not a swerve, but I would say it's something that could look like a swerve. In other words, if we don't pick a quarterback with that first round pick, then everyone's going to go, the Raiders kept hearing they were going to do this and do this and do this. Well, I mean, there's a very high likelihood they don't even go with a quarterback. For example, why did you go so quickly to shore up the number 1 in Jimmy Garoppolo and the number 2 in Brian Hoyer? Because you wanted Brian Hoyer on the team to help Jimmy Garoppolo on a day-to-day basis, but show Jimmy Garoppolo that he's the number 1, because Brian Hoyer isn't thought of as anything other than a backup quarterback. So there's no threat to Jimmy. If you bring Anthony Richardson, instant threat, no matter how young he may be, because you know how the fans are. The fans are going to say, hey, we want to see the guy with the huge muscles that's young. Come on, get him out there. Because even if he stinks, I mean, he'll start to get it as he plays more. Get him out there. You know what I mean? There'll be that kind of pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo, on Mark Davis and the coaching staff and so on. And you just don't want that. So the moment we put on Jimmy and we put on Brian Hoyer so quick and just had that established, it just made me think maybe we're off the whole quarterback thing this year entirely. Louis Hallwin, I thought quarterback at 7-2, but I'm having second thoughts. Everyone handles trauma differently, and that would be traumatic for anyone. Vincent Rubalcaba, exactly. Hard to see Oakland A's gone. Rick Samarano, the Oakland A's gone is Oakland's fault. It just is. And it's not the city of Oakland. It's not the people of Oakland, but it's the people in charge of policing Oakland, of keeping Oakland safe. They let us down. Mainly Libby Schaff really let us down. If you ever get a chance, just Google Libby Schaff and how many sheriffs that she's had to fire, and it'll blow you away. The stuff you hear, it'll just blow you away. We had sheriffs that were running pimps that were running prostitutes. We had sheriffs that had like drug mules and were stealing money from drug dealers, and it was crazy. I don't like any of these quarterbacks, but Heiner in the fourth, maybe. Oh, Jake Hainer. Are you thinking of? He looks nice. I won't lie. I heard CJ Stroud fails a decision-making test and may fall. John Leon, CJ Stroud to me is probably the most clouded quarterback of them all. When you go to Ohio State, you get a track team on offense and the biggest offensive lineman in the country. So basically, no one touched him. He never felt pressure, and he won constantly. So a guy like that, he's never been through adversity. There's no way to know how he'll respond to a challenge. There's no way he'll respond to hard work, and having to do hard work. There's no way to know. The college level and the NFL, two totally different things. CJ Stroud to me is the biggest mystery of them all. Jimmy Motto, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Jimmy, when I inboxed you the other day about that other guy using my name, I didn't mean to make it sound like I was like holding you responsible or anything like that. I didn't mean that at all. So if that was my tone or you got that from my tone, don't think that. I was just wondering why you hadn't exposed him to me. Let me know about it, because I would just lit him up. And then I found out that there's like a whole bunch of people out there that have the name Raider Bear. Apparently they just don't do it like I do. This is a family show. I would much rather trade down than trade up. If there's not a quarterback at 7, I say we go defense or the best available player at position we need. I think that's what's going to happen, Dustin King. I think we're going to take the best player available, but it's going to be either at corner or defensive end. Because I think the linebacker / defensive end, Will Anderson, will be gone, probably with the Cardinals, because I don't think anyone's going to trade up and take that guy away from them. Will Anderson and Carter, to me, are kind of like this as far as talent level. So either guy you get, you're getting a boss hog. And then Tyree Wilson, the kid from Texas Tech, I like Tyree Wilson a lot. So if we end up with Tyree Wilson, I like that. If we get Devin Witherspoon, I like that. So there's a lot of ways if we get Skoronski, the offensive lineman from Northwestern, I like that. So there's a lot of things that could go right for us picking 7. Raider Bear, I will see Will Levis will fall out of the top 15. I'll bet you some patches I'm correct. Whoa. Okay. I'll take that bet. I don't think he's going to fall out of the top 15. KP, I don't see that. What do you see as a downside to Will Levis? The only downside I see to Will Levis is he's a little arrogant. He's got a little bit of that Brett Favre in him where he thinks he can throw a ball through any situation, no matter how many guys are there or how big they may be or what defense they're in. He feels like he can throw over it, under it, or around it. You know what I mean? He's a little bit too sure of what he's been able to do and what he can do on the football field. And that can be a disaster at the NFL level, because there are defenses that bait you into thinking something's open. So you'll put the ball in the air and then they close and it's an interception or it's a deflection. Ted Thing, Bear, what's up, brother? Pick 7, Witherspoon, write it down, take a pick. That's what they're doing. I'm convinced. Right on, Ted. Welcome to the show one more time. Always has the good comments for me. Oh my God. McDaniels is going for another Florida quarterback and thus a repeat from Denver. Rick Sabarano, I'm concerned. That's all I'm going to say is I'm concerned. It's going to be Anthony Richardson. Don't want quarterback to pick at 7. Should defensive line or offensive line, but don't trust this GM or this coach. Troy Gill, no reason why we should trust them, especially when our own owner pretty much took Dave Ziegler, the general manager, and threw him under the bus. Said that he's young and inexperienced and essentially was nicely saying he's in over his head. Even if you think that's true, why are you saying it? No one asked you that. Mark Davis is just a friggin' monkey. I just can't stand him sometimes. John LaJoy, I agree with that list completely. Is it true in order to watch football games, we have to pay a fee to Apple? Kim Calhoun, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that unless you have the Sunday ticket. I mean, are you just talking about Raider games or all football games? I'm not sure how to answer that question. Jesse Lopez, what's up? Welcome to the show. Arnold Olorvida. Sorry, Arnold. I always butcher your name because I try to read it fast. Arnold Olorvida. Aaron sat 3 years. We'll still be 23 if that happened. Aaron Rodgers did sit for 3 years. So why not Anthony Davis? I would have said if you bring in Anthony Davis, sorry. If you bring in Anthony Richardson and then you legitimately make him sit for at least 1 season, and then in this year number 2, if he's not ready, then you let him sit the whole season. Or if he's looking ready faster than pace, then you move him up ahead of Brian Hoyer and you let him sit at the 2. And then when we get to week 6, week 7, week 8, if Jimmy Garoppolo is not literally lighting the world on fire, then you put him out there and see what he's got. I like it. We have Jimmy at least 3 years. Arnold Olorvita, I know that, but he also has a 1 year out the same way Derek Carr did. And so if something goes wrong or he has a bad opening season, Josh can move on from him. They don't call Jimmy Glass for nothing, right? I'm hoping only Mick Bendejo was going to go after more Cheatriot players in regards to quarterback. I'm still hoping for Mac Jones. Honestly, as weird as it sounds, I'm in the Mac Jones argument too. Even if he did, do some weird yoga with his hips where he was like twerking the air. It was very strange. He doesn't lift weights. He's like, why would he let anyone film that? he was just humping a wall or something, moving with a tennis ball. It was weird. But I'm all about, I like it, Corinna, because his rookie year, he was throwing the rock around, had everybody impressed. And then next season, they gave him a defensive coordinator for an offensive coordinator and Matt Patricia, and he stunk it up all over the place. Got smushed by our own guy, Chandler Jones. So what are you going to do? AP, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. That's the best picture ever, man. Your hair looks dope. Next year, Caleb Williams. Rick Samarano, Caleb Williams even put his neck out on the line, kind of gave himself a 1-year prove-it deal by saying basically, here, I'm going in my sophomore season. Watch me work. I'm going to put it up so the Raiders have to trade. Will come after me. Troy Gill, we might trade for Mac Jones. That is a possibility. Excuse me, I have the hiccups all of a sudden. Cheryl Maida, hi. How are you? Welcome to the show. I appreciate you checking in with YouTube. Rick Summer, I'm a huge Raider Nation and Oakland A's fan since I was born. Me too, brother. It feels weird. I say for offensive tackle on your 7th pick. John LaJoie, it just seems like that's the pick that makes the most sense. Even if we need a lot of defense, you've got to protect Jimmy Garoppolo. And we have a glaring need on the right tackle side. SMH, it should be him. Raider Sal, our first round pick should be Kosher Vlasic from Pickle University. Oh, I hate pickles. You know that. Come on, man. I hate pickles. Carter or Witherspoon at 7, Bob Standard. Bob, I could see that. Witherspoon, yes. Taylor, I just can't, or Carter, I just can't believe this many teams would pass on Carter. I can't believe the Lions would pass on Carter. I can't believe the Seahawks would pass on Carter. Unfortunately, I have family in Oakland. Absolutely scary as hell. Yeah, Kim, I'm sorry about that. I grew up in Oakland. I love the place. Sup, Bear? I'm totally anxious about the draft. I have a good feeling like something good might happen. Well, Travis McNeil, something good's going to happen pretty much no matter what, because when you pick at 7, you'd almost have to try to screw up. You know what I mean? All you have to do is pick the best corner available or the best defensive tackle available or the best offensive lineman available. That's 3 options where if you pick any one of those 3 options, most of Raider Nation is going to be happy. So I just hope he keeps that in mind and works along that line. Kaylee McLaughlin, the Bears Raider daughter in the house. Hi, sweetie. I am going to do my draft show, sweetheart. No, John Leon, no, you cannot use the Raider Bears name. Greg Lloyd, what's up? Welcome to the show. Jim Vandelin said, I pay for Sunday tickets. It's just under $300 for the season, but you can watch and or record any and all of the games. That's dope. I had it, but I got it mid-year when it was like prorated, so I didn't really ever get a chance to like play with all the bells and whistles. I didn't know you could record and keep games. That's cool. Jim and I agree. Whatever the best thing to do in the draft is McMoron will do something else. McMoron, that's a good one. Bear, what new coach did we get? Danny Amendola. He's coming on as a wide receivers and special teams coach coordinator. They called him a coordinator, I think, because even though he's coming on as a coach, what they want him to do is also work with special teams and guys who are going to be running back kick returns and punt returns. Danny Amendola did a little bit of that when he was in school. And I think he's going to try to teach these guys sight lines, blocking schemes and how they work, where they should lean when the ball goes one way or the other. Those kind of things, just making sure that our guys are giving us the best we can get from our special teams people. Skoronski is the ticket, and a edge would definitely help. Jimmy Glass. Rick Samarano, I like Skoronski, but I also would not poo-poo Tyree Wilson. If you pick up Tyree Wilson, you're butting him now with Mad Max. And I mean, could it get better than having two young, crazy, super high octane motor defensive ends going after everybody's quarterback every Sunday? Yes, please. Waiter, I'll take two. I didn't look at the menu. I didn't look at the price. I don't care. I want it. I'll pay for that lobster. Let's see. Bo Hogden. Hello from New Hampshire. What's up, Bo? Welcome to the show. Rick Samarano said, I love Danny Amendola. Rick, he can't put his ability into any of our guys, unfortunately, but he can impart wisdom on them. For example, Danny Amendola was one of those wide receivers that understood recognition. And when I say recognition, I mean protecting his quarterback and route recognition. Now, what that means is basically when you see a wide receiver, you often see them with their hands in their front, and then they turn their head either to the left or to the right, depending on which side of the quarterback they're standing. Now, while they do that, they're watching to see the ball snapped, and then they turn and they take off and they start doing their thing. Now, when a wide receiver is really good, what they learn is that while you're looking in, when you see the ball snapped, you have to take an extra second to look, just a blink of an eye longer, to make sure, do you see an extra linebacker going in after your quarterback? Do you see the defensive lineman doing stunts and a safety is coming through a gap? If you see those things, the reason why it's important is because now it's up to that wide receiver to, before he even does all of his kick, just turn, run to a spot and give your quarterback a place to throw the ball, because he needs to get rid of the ball right now. And he needs one of his players on his offense to recognize alarm. The heat is on. I need a valve to take off the pressure valve, get it? A valve receiver that I can throw to take this pressure off me. So Danny Amendola was one of the best at that because he was a slot receiver, a lot like Hunter Renfrow. So he had to see that recognition and then get his head around quickly, and change the route assignment to protect his quarterback. And he'll be able to instill that in our wide receivers. I had some dude at work actually questioning if I was a real Raider fan because I complained about McDumdum, and he claims to be a Raider fan. Well, some people are like that, Jim. They believe once someone's a part of the Raiders, you root for them no matter what. It doesn't matter where they were from. It doesn't matter what they did in the past. Once they're a Raider, and we defend them. And don't get me wrong, we defend Jimmy Garoppolo, you know what I mean? But don't ask us to say that that's who we wanted, or that we have all absolute confidence in him or something silly like that, because we don't. You know what I mean? But do we think he could win games with this coach? Of course he could. You know what I mean? He won games with the Niners coach. Why wouldn't he be able to win with this one? Especially when he's already worked with in the past, knows his offense. So, R8RBEAR, I used to watch you on Facebook when we were barely getting Gruden. So glad I found your content again. Oh, wow. King Juice. I really appreciate that. That's a great compliment, and I really appreciate it. Okay. James Farrell. Hey, bro, a huge win by my Knicks. No, James, that was a beat down. Jeez. I mean, wasn't it like 97-50 or something like that at one point? You destroyed them. Raider Flair Bear, we need a linebacker. I would love Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell or Henry Toto. If we pick Tyree Wilson, I think Herbert and Mahomes will cry. Herbert and Mahomes will cry and have nightmares for years. There's no doubt about it. Although I won't lie to you, I don't know as much about Drew Sanders as I do about Jack Campbell. I love Jack Campbell. I love Jack Campbell, man. I think that guy is just a bad dude. Love me some Jack Campbell. Let me see here. I've got my list of quarterbacks. I'm just trying to bring up my page I found earlier with my list of quarterbacks. I don't know if it's wise calling Will Anderson a linebacker. He's a defensive end. I don't think that guy's a linebacker. And if he goes to the pros, he's going to be a linebacker for sure. So, I mean, defensive end for sure. So, it's silly calling him a linebacker. He's not a linebacker. Okay. Oh, no, that's my quarterbacks. Let me go back again. There we go. Where'd he go? Linebackers. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know about your guy, Drew Sanders, because Nolan Smith could still be on the board. You know what I mean? Nolan Smith's a bad man. Nolan Smith or Jack Campbell. Those are bad men. But that's, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have 8 linebackers ahead of Drew Sanders. So I don't know if I want to go that low. If I'm going to pick at 7 and pick a linebacker, which I have no problem with, we need a linebacker. I mean, think about when was the last time we had a terror at middle linebacker? At middle linebacker. I can't remember the last time we really had just a monster at middle linebacker. Well, come on, let's do it. When there's so many guys available, Andre Carter, the second, has even been rumored to us. So why not? And he's got let's see, Andre Carter, 85.5 rating. Jack Campbell of Iowa, 87.6. Putting him squarely at 4th. Although there were a lot of people that felt like Jack Campbell was the best linebacker in this draft. See, because like guys like Will Anderson, they even have Tyree Wilson on here. Tyree Wilson is not a linebacker. He's an edge rusher, and he's going to be an edge rusher at the next level. 6'6", 271 pounds. There's no 6'6", 271-pound linebackers in the NFL. So he's going to be a defensive end. Nolan Smith saying, no, not as much. He's 6'2", 238. So he'll keep playing linebacker. But Will Anderson and Tyree Wilson are number 1 and 2 on the linebacker list. Then after that, if you replace them, number 1 and 2 would be Nolan Smith and Jack Campbell. I'm Jack Campbell all day. Little bigger, probably not quite as fast as Nolan Smith, but a little bigger. They have almost the exact same linebacker rating. Campbell's an 87.6. Nolan Smith is an 87.8. So good stuff. And then here it's Drew Sanders has totally resurrected his college career after transferring from Alabama, where he put a season of dominating play together. Oh, right on. So that's pretty good too. And then Nick Sewell. I don't know why people are so hot on Nick Sewell. 6'2", 246. Noah Sewell is a classic throwback middle linebacker. He's excellent against the run and has tackling ability. Okay. He's got measurables. 6'2", 246. 246 is big for 6'2". That's a good size frame. So he'll be able to truck some guys. Okay. So let's get back to that. I want any player that plays with passion and love back in the locker room, though it's all about the money. Kim Calhoun, it's all about the money, but because it's become such a multi-million-dollar business, but that doesn't mean the players won't put their heart into it and want to win, but they want to get paid first. B. Al, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Troy Gill said, we need defense. I'm tired of Mick Holmes running around on us. It's time to get young and our middle to get this guy. Yeah, I could agree. Bo Hogden said, I don't usually say much to do. Love to listen to everything you guys talk about. So thank you. Right on, Bo. Appreciate that. Arnold Amendola was great at the hot read. Yes. Okay. So you said it better than I did, Arnold. Hot read. Correct. That's the better terminology. They call it a hot read, which basically means the quarterback's hot because they're trying to put the heat on him. So you have to turn, get your chest open, and let the quarterback throw the ball to you right away. I'm still worried about Jimmy G as a quarterback. He's so accident prone. He's liable to trip over his own shadow and hurt himself in the parking lot. Right, Corinna? Oh, God. Why did they give him that guarantee on his injury? I mean, if they hadn't given him the guarantee on his injury, I would be willing to go out on a limb and say to you guys that with him knowing this offense and the fact that we are doing some work with our offensive line, we remember we brought in Alex Bars. We brought Alex Bars back. We brought in another guard. I can't remember who it was. We re-signed Ronis Grassu, the guard center combination. We brought back Joel Elemenor at right tackle. I love the fact that we're solidifying the guys on our line that we know can play. And then we brought in a monster of a tight end in OJ Howard. So he's going to help when we block as well. Nicholas Maida, we need a couple of mean linebackers right now. I honestly agree with you. I'm starting to wonder why would it be wrong for us to take someone like Jack Campbell at 7? I would love that. Kirk Morrison was our last decent linebacker we had. Yeah, Ted Thane. And think of how long ago that was. And even I would argue, even he would, although he was good, I wouldn't say that guy was a stud. Yeah, Jonathan Pervinez, what's up? Welcome to the show. I hope I pronounced that last named correctly, and I agree. Linebacker. I think more and more. I think we should go linebacker. I think it should be. I think it's going to be Devin Witherspoon. I think it should be linebacker or defensive tackle, and they're going to take Anthony Richardson. Oh man. Good night, Tommy. Sweet dreams. Corinna said, good night, Tommy. Sweet dreams. Defense. Nicholas, I agree. I just think that if we don't expect them to take someone offensively, we're not being realistic. You know what I mean? Like, for example, is offensive line, offense? I mean, technically it's your line. You're protecting your quarterback. To me, when they're going offense is when they bring in wide receivers, running backs, tight ends, that kind of thing. And we've been doing that primarily thus far with free agency. So I would really like to see us go defense primarily in this draft. And I think they will. I think they'll pick two positions at offense. I think they'll pick a wide receiver. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but I am. And I think they'll pick an offensive lineman. But I'm concerned. Maybe a tight end as opposed to the wide receiver. But they did because they brought in so many guys. And you've already got Jacoby Myers at 2, Devontae at 1. You got Hunter at the 3, along with DeAndre Carter. I don't know what we would be doing looking at another receiver, but maybe he plans on winning games by just outscoring other teams. Because as well as I do, there are times where that is effective. You can just say, you know what, we're going to put up 38 per game. And then every once in a while, someone's going to hold us to 27, 28, and maybe we'll lose. But so what? We're going to just mow people down. 30, 35, 38 points a game, somewhere in that range, always in the mid to low 30s every game. And if you really can do that, you really would make the playoffs, and you really would have fewer losses because there would just be teams that wouldn't be able to keep up with your scoring, and you would win that way. I'm not saying that's how I want to do it. I'm just saying that if Josh McDaniels chose to do it that way, it doesn't mean all hope is lost. If I were the Raiders, I would go defensive line and linebacker and then corner in the first 3 rounds. Don't care in which order, but that would be my focus. I like Skoronski, but maybe putting OJ Howard on that side helps enough to solidify the line. Ted Thane, again, good comment. I think OJ Howard could be that extra guy. You know what I mean? Maybe you make Jermaine Elemenor the right tackle. I mean, was he really that bad last year? You know what I mean? I think he gave up 3 sacks on the whole season, if I'm not mistaken. And then you put OJ Howard next to him, he gets even better because OJ Howard is a furniture mover, man. I mean, U-Haul all by himself. Yeah, Greg Beaker. Greg Beaker was great. I would say I like Greg Beaker a lot. Yeah, no. I'm just not hot on the Anthony Richardson thing anymore. I realize what he brings to the table and everything else, but it doesn't matter if he brings something great to the table if when it gets there, it tastes weird. I mean, he's got 13 starts, guys, and he's going to try to use his legs at the NFL level. Really? Can I give you an observation? RG3. Troy Gill, where in Arizona are you and Mama Bear living? I'm in Yuma, Arizona, and get ready for hot weather. Troy Gill, I've been hearing that about the heat out there, but I welcome it. I'm a Californian, and I'm sub-Saharan. I like warm weather. I don't like cold weather, ever. I just don't like cold weather. When I go out to the snow to play and things like that, that's fun, but it's never to live. It's not even a vacation. I usually am only out there long enough to go skiing or go to someone's party out in the snow at a cabin that's a cool friend of mine from back in the day. I have a friend back in the day who has a cabin up in Bay Area, in Lake Berryessa. And so when it snows, he'll have parties and he'll plan it ahead of time because he knows what part of the year it's definitely going to snow because he's had this cabin for like a decade. And so he'll hit us up and say, hey, we're going to have a party, blah, blah. And I'll go to that. But other than that, it's got to be warm. How about Campbell at 7, then maybe Ike at 38? Okay. Tanamoku, I like that. I love Campbell. If they took him at 7, I would applaud that. If I was going to watch your show, I pay attention to the draft until it was over, so I only get pissed on one day. Well done, Jim. James Bear, I hope my Alexa won't go off when you sign off the show again. Oh, man. Jonathan agrees with me. I appreciate that. I've been getting a lot of that lately. I think we need players that could create takeaways also on D. That's a good point. And if I was going to just take someone off the top of my head, Nicholas Maida, I think Marcus Epps, the safety we took from the Eagles, I think he's going to be that man. I really do. I think he's going to be that man because he is going to free up Trayvon Merrick to do more of what Trayvon Merrick wants to do. Play safety like a center fielder in baseball, where if the ball is going right or it's going left, it doesn't matter. He's got the kind of speed and the nose for the ball to cover the ground, get there and knock it down, or potentially create interceptions. And Marcus Epps' play in the box and his ability to come down and support linebackers against the run is just going to, help us there, popping balls loose, and more importantly, getting guys on the ground and forcing 3rd and longs to where now he can back up. He and Trayvon Merrick, and they could turn into ball hawks. I'd like to see that. Now, in a 5-year period, Marcus Epps has 3 interceptions. So don't expect it to be interceptions, but forced fumbles, that I could see. Ted Thane, couldn't we get Campbell, Mazzie Smith, and Tomlinson in the first 3 rounds? I don't see why we couldn't find a way of making that work. It plugs 3 holes on defense. That's a great point, Ted Thane. I would say to you this. When you look at where we draft, let me just pull the thing up again here. Okay. When you look at where we draft, beyond 7, obviously, we're all well aware of 7. In the 2nd round, we pick 38. Now, as each round ends, the 2nd round, you have a first person who picks in the 2nd round. Okay, so Pittsburgh, Houston, Arizona, the Colts, the Rams, the Seahawks, and then us. So we are the 7th pick in the 1st round, and we're the 7th pick in the 2nd round. Get it? See, so when you hear the 38th pick in the 2nd round, it seems like it's forever. But in reality, you're picking 7th in the 1st and you're picking 7th in the 2nd. So, see, to me, you're going to get 2 first-round picks because you're going to have a guy who fell out of the 1st round who is without question first-round talent, and we're going to be able to get him 38 round 2. Okay, then you go to round 3. Okay, the Bears, the Texans, the Cardinals, the Broncos one more time, the Rams, and then guess what? That's right. 3rd round, lucky number 7, we pick 7th pick overall in the 3rd round. So see, the way we're strategically placed in this draft, although we don't have a lot of picks, we're strategically placed in a spot where if we make smart picks on those first 3 pulls, we're going to be in really, really good shape. Now, we have one other pick in the 3rd at pick 100, and then there's round 4. Ready? Are you seeing a theme here? Bears, Texans, Cardinals, Colts, Patriots, Broncos, Raiders. Round 4, 7th pick overall. So I like what we can do with where we're positioned. It's not so much how many picks we have as where we're positioned that I like how this is going to go down. Round 5, the pattern is broken. We don't pick 7th overall in round 5. We pick 6th, 1 pick sooner. So again, conducive to once each round starts, we're high up in that round. So there's going to be teams that are going to trade up to us because they're going to see guys that are still available, and they're going to be surprised that person's available. They're going to call us and say, hey, can we move up and get your pick at 141 in the 5th round? Sure. Give us 2 picks here or here, and we're good. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So it should be good. And then Las Vegas in the 5th round has 2 picks. The 6th overall, number 141. And then we come down a little bit lower, and we have number 174, the Raiders. That was one of our compensatory picks. Round 6, the pattern finally breaks in round 6. I don't see where let's see. There we are, 214th. So we're 4th to last in the 6th round. Not great, but then again, the talent fall off after the 5th round is drastic. And so you're just getting guys in the 6th and 7th where you're taking a flyer out in the hopes that they may make the team in some way, may pan out to be a good player, but you don't expect them to when you get guys in the 6th and 7th round. Okay, and then in the 7th round, we pick 3rd overall. So we're the 3rd pick in the 7th round. And then let's see. And then the 14th pick. That's pretty good. So 3rd pick. Okay, then 14th pick. And then that's it. And then that's it on that. So basically what I'm saying is when we do the draft special, we'll cover this stuff and I'll talk to you about it in greater detail. But essentially, you understand what I'm saying. Everything's falling into place. We're going to be the 7th pick in the first, second, third, and fourth. We're the 7th pick overall as each one of those rounds begins. That's pretty dope. And it's going to give us a chance to get really a lot better. Just what? Yeah. Thursday, April 27th, beginning at 8 p.m. That's the first round of the 2023 NFL Draft. One more time, just in case anyone was writing it down or anything like that. Thursday, April 27th. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern time. That means it's going to be 5 o'clock for us in the Pacific time, I believe it is. Then round 2 and 3 are Friday, April 22nd. So basically the very next day, and that begins 1 hour earlier at 7. And then Saturday, round 4 through 7, they'll finish it off on April 29th. So the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th. Look for that. I will be doing a draft show on April 27th, but even though I'm not going to do a show on the 28th and the 29th, I will be dropping in periodically to tell you how it's going. This year's draft is being held in Kansas City, Missouri, by the way, just so you're knowing. Okay, so let me go back over here. You know, James, it's sounding more and more like the Raiders are going to go with a corner, and it only makes sense if you ask me. Kim, I'm sorry. Lexa got them ears. Let's see. Your thoughts about the A's buying land in Vegas and moving there. James, I was Oakland, born and bred. Original Oakland A's, Oakland Raiders, Golden State Warriors fan. And so it's a sad day. But at the same time, I've been expecting it for quite a while. All that song and dance about we're going to try to keep it in Oakland. We're going to try and keep it in Oakland. Without calling the owner, Jeff Fisher, a liar, he knew they weren't going to be able to stay in Oakland. He just was doing lip service for the fans. And that's part of the game. You know, it's not very cool because you would rather them just be honest with you, but they can't. Because if they're honest with you, then they're giving you months to give them a hard time and rake them over the coals. And they would rather you just be clueless about what's going on than have their name dragged through the mud. Man, I'm like hiccuping and falling asleep over here. Have a good weekend. I hope everyone's excited for the draft as I am. Go Raiders. Raiders! I just had to wake up there. There's a whoop whoop from Mama Bear. Mike Brown, there is a chance that we're boring and we trade down, and I like boring. Because when you're boring, it means you're saying we understand that we're not that good right now. We may have a decent team, a decent team with nice parts, but we also are a decent team with nice parts that's missing a lot of crucial parts. So I could see the Raiders trading down. Absolutely. Absolutely. The first round pick number 7 could end up being really anticlimactic. For example, what if we just trade down to 11 with the Titans? The Titans pick at 11. Whatever we pick at 7, there's a chance it'll be there at 11. Not necessarily if it's Witherspoon, he'll probably be gone. But, there's going to be good players, period, available at 11. So if we had to downshift and pick a different guy, I don't see the problem with that. But James, as far as your question about the A's in Vegas, though, I just want to reiterate. I don't hate. I understand the business of things. I understand that Oakland is a collapsing town. You know what I mean? And sports franchises are leaving there. And, it's the way it's going to be until they clean itself up. Because Oakland is a beautiful, beautiful place of culture and food and great sights and great towns and great people. But you can't have the amount of crime they have there and expect people to believe that. Miguel Garcia, stop it. What if they drop down to 11 with the Titans and then take Bijan Robinson? I'll cry. I'll cry on camera for everyone. That's original. Mike Brown wants us to draft a new head coach. We're in agreement, brother. What happens to the Oakland complex land? James Farrell, from what I understand, the guy that owns the land is probably just going to sell it. He'll just sell it and they'll build something on it. But at this point, I don't know what. I'm not an A's fan, but it will be a sad day when there's no sports in Oakland. Ted Thane, that was about as well said as everybody on my show. Maybe can get Campbell at 11. You probably could get Campbell at 11. It's not a definite thing, but you probably, it's possible, because there are going to be teams that just don't value linebacker that high, and then when they do take one, they'll take one of the other ones. For example, where's he at? There we go. Okay. Will Anderson, Tyree Wilson. Okay, now they could be off the board, but then you have Nolan Smith still. You have Trenton Simpson still. You have Derek Hall, Andre Carter, Drew Sanders. There's a lot of guys other than just Jack Campbell that measure up with Jack Campbell as well, as far as speed and size and their rating. If I go from Jack Campbell, who's an 87.6, I can go down 1, 2, 3, 4 linebackers down to Drew Sanders, and he's an 85.7. So you're really not losing anything. Anyone in the 80 plus, you're going to be fine. And the lowest linebacker they have rated out of the 12 linebackers I'm looking at is Deion Henley, linebacker of the Wildcats, 6'1", 225. Yeah, he's a little small. But even his linebacker rating is 84.1. And then Henry Toto, the guy they were talking about from Alabama, oh, he's light in the butt, though, guys. 6'1", 227. That's a puffed up safety playing linebacker. I know you said Henry Toto, but I don't know if I agree with that. 6'1", 227 at linebacker? We tried that with Tanner Muse. It didn't work. You know what I mean? When you take these puffed up safeties and move them to linebacker, it doesn't usually work. It's not that they're not strong enough. It's not that they're not big enough to bring guys down. They're not big enough and strong enough to shed blockers. That's the problem. Because the fullbacks in some, like for example, if he's playing for at linebacker, Henry Toto is playing 6'1", 227 pounds. Jakob Johnson, our fullback's bigger than him. I think even Josh Jacobs heavier than that. So, I mean, Henry Toto is going to be smaller than most everybody on the field at 6'1", 227. I don't know for sure, but I would say Tay is probably bigger than that. You know what I mean? Devontae Adams probably bigger than 6. I know he's taller than 6'1". I don't know if he's 227, but he's probably pretty darn close. So I don't know if I want my linebacker out there built like a wide receiver. Even if he has a reputation, I don't know. Let's see. There's no question that Anthony Richardson is a great athlete, but that in no way translated to being even a competent quarterback. What part of that is so hard for McMoron to understand? He threw a ball into the roof, for gosh sakes. Oh, that had to be Tommy. Well done, Tommy. Well done. All right. Now, anyone, if you hadn't seen it, let me show it to you now. The R8RBEAR's newest Raider medallion, and it is awesome. Check it out. We get right up to the camera so you guys can see how it blings and how it shines. And when you have it in the sun, it's even better. It is crazy. Crazy flossy piece. So check that out. R8RBEAR. Come get with me on my page if you're interested. I still have a few left on sale because they went real fast. Right when people could get them, they got them. And then now I've just got a handful left. So if you want one, hit me up. Facebook, my inbox, R8RBEAR. My Facebook name is Joseph Bear. But check me out, Joseph Bear. And if you want one of my coveted medallions, we can talk. Let's see. We're getting a kicker in the first round. Stop it, Miguel. Bear! What's up, Pete Vasquez? You missed it, man. You're just getting here. I've been putting foots in people. Nah, long snapper. All right. You guys are having too much fun now. Alexa, resume. Did you forget me, girl? Alexa, resume. Maybe I said it with too much inflection. Alexa, play Hide by NASA.
Here's what I found.
No, uh-oh. Now I'm changing the channel in the other room. All right, I give it up. That's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Space Force. Active and veteran. Much love for what you do and all you do. Much love. All right. I am off for the weekend. I will see you on Monday. Raider Bear family page. Much love. And remember to subscribe and follow Raider Bear family page on YouTube and Facebook. Much love. Hope you enjoyed the show.